Tonight on Newsbeat, LSU football hosts Pro Day with NFL coaches and scouts in attendance.
LSU gymnastics brings in some new hardware.
And why dyeing eggs this Easter may not be as popular this year.
All of this and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday Newsbeat. I'm Gracie Guillot.
And I'm Miguel Paredes-Reyes. Thanks for joining us. It's a big day for LSU sports today on campus. Kicking off strong, LSU hosted their Pro Day today, featuring the much-anticipated Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr. Other notable Tigers competed, including Mason Smith, Omar Spates, and Makai Wingo.
LSU's Pro Day just wrapped up behind me, and all eyes were on quarterback Jaden Daniels, who is projected to be a top 3 NFL draft pick. Daniels entered today as the main event, but as the day went on, there were 3 other players who may have ended up stealing the show. Today at LSU's Pro Day, while Jaden Daniels drew the initial spotlight, Malik Neighbors quickly shifted the focus. Neighbors, LSU's all-time receiving yards leader, may have just secured himself as a top 10 draft pick, blazing through the 40-yard dash in 4.35 seconds, which was 4th among receivers at this year's Combine and just a hair behind Brian Thomas Jr. He also soared to a 42-inch vertical jump, the 3rd highest for wide receivers in the draft. On the field, Neighbors looked smooth, making play after play and proving he's not just fast and explosive, he's a playmaker ready for the next level.
I've seen him. I'm certainly going to advocate on his behalf. I don't think there's a better receiver in the country.
Despite LSU's defense not shining as brightly this season, the Pro Day spotlight found its way to 2 defensive standouts. Makai Wingo with a 4.85 40-yard dash, second best at the Combine for his position, showed off his strength at LSU's Pro Day with 28 bench presses, a feat that would have ranked 3rd at the Combine. Meanwhile, Omar Spates demonstrated why he's one to watch this year. His 30 reps on the bench would have ranked as the 6th best amongst all participants at the Combine and the most for a linebacker. Spates also clocked a 4.62 in the 40-yard dash, placing him in the top 10 of all linebackers of this year's draft class.
These are the opportunities to not only use the film that you have, but to back it up with the athleticism. They both had great days.
Jaden Daniels didn't let the spotlight drift far, though. Despite some initial hiccups with the deep throws, he quickly adjusted, showcasing the arm talent and composure that have scouts excited. His recovery and ability to finish strong with precise, powerful throws cemented his place as a top prospect in this year's draft. Together, all 4 athletes shined at LSU's Pro Day, each demonstrating they're more than ready to take their talents to the NFL and proving that LSU continues to be a powerhouse of football talent. The NFL Draft will take place on April 25th in Detroit, Michigan, where the next wave of NFLSU will look to find their new homes. For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Rajan Valdez.
For Daniels, Neighbors, and Thomas, they know their names will be called on day 1, but for others like Spates and Wingo, they'll hope to have their careers take the next step in April. On to LSU women's basketball is set to take on number 2 UCLA Saturday, March 30th at 12 p.m. in Albany, New York on ABC. Tomorrow, the Lady Tigers will have their final send-off of the season outside the PMAC at 12:45 p.m. to cheer them on to the Sweet 16. If the Lady Tigers win Saturday, they will either take on number 1 Iowa or number 5 Colorado in the Elite 8 on April 1st. Kim Mulkey stated in a press conference Saturday that a journalist from the Washington Post was working on an article about her, which she went on to express her frustration with the deadline for the quote-unquote hit piece. Mulkey also claims she hired a defamation lawyer to combat the article if posted. The article that has been in the making for 2 years has not yet been published. There is no timeline on when the article may be posted.
After LSU gymnastics SEC championship win this weekend, a few of the gymnasts and coach Jay Clark received SEC honors today. Senior Haley Bryant was named SEC Gymnast of the Year after her show-stopping performance last weekend, where she received a pair of 9.95 zeros on beam and floor, and her highest score of the night was a 9.975 on vault, falling just shy of a perfect 10. Since 2021, Bryant has scored a total of 16 perfect 10s in her career and has been recognized as all SEC honors for the 2024 season. Freshman Connor McLean has been named SEC Freshman of the Year as well as SEC honors. McLean scored a perfect 10 on the beam at the SEC Championship and won the overall beam title at the meet. Her perfect 10 led the Tigers to the SEC championship title they took home Saturday evening. Also, head coach Jay Clark was named SEC Coach of the Year for the first time ever, and he attributes the team's success to their positive attitude throughout the year, which he believes will lead the team closer to the NCAA championship meet.
There's no question. There's no question. I mean, Olivia Dunn says it in our team meeting, we're at our best when we're having fun. Of course, the flip side of that is we're having fun when we're at our best, right? So it's like, which came first, chicken or the egg, you know, kind of conversation. But I do think when a team is loose and free of mind and fearless and having a good time together, and that's consistent with how they train and how they compete all year long, I do think that's usually an indicator of a team that's in a good mental headspace.
LSU gymnastics continues to shine in the SEC, and they will compete in the Fayetteville Regional on Thursday, April 4th as their next step towards a national championship. Originally, we were expecting to announce the winner of the student government election. However, the Election Commission has announced early today that they will be postponing the result announcements until further notice. This comes after the university court announced they will be hearing a case on whether or not results can be announced before all election cases have been ruled on. Should the court rule that the commission can announce results before the end of all pending cases, we expect results Thursday. Otherwise, we must wait until all 7 election cases have been ruled on. We will keep you updated with more information as it comes in. In the past few months, streaming services have begun cracking down on password sharing. Reporter Erin Delahunty is in the studio with more. Erin?
That's right. Hulu is taking a bold step forward with its latest update aimed at enhancing user security and sharing policies, making it even more difficult for college students to use streaming services.
Last year, Netflix created new password rules restricting devices from streaming outside of the user's primary household.
When I go to Netflix and use my parents' login, it tells me that I'm in the wrong household and that I can't use their system since I'm in Louisiana.
Netflix's memberships increased by nearly 70% after implementing these new password rules. They've inspired many other streaming services, including Hulu, to do the same.
I feel like the streaming services are starting to get really greedy because they just want more money and they're ripping off people when they shouldn't be.
Hulu sent out an email to its users explaining that starting March 14th, there will be new password sharing rules and extreme consequences for breaking them. Hulu says they will track your IP address to see if your account is being used outside of your primary home. And if it is, they can terminate or suspend your access.
It's putting a strain on us college students because we're only on so much of an income, and it's making it to where we're having to find different ways to try and have our relaxation time.
This will affect all college students living on their own.
I think one thing that would help the companies be able to get college kids back involved, or at least be more amped to buy them, is if they did the college discounts like they do, but instead of doing a monthly college discount or a yearly college discount, they could do like a 4-year one for while you're in college, just to show that they're trying to make an effort for the college kids.
Other streaming services like Disney Plus and ESPN Plus are planning to crack down on password sharing this summer. For Tiger TV, I'm Erin Delahunty.
Enjoy your favorite streaming services while you still can, as accessing them is set to become even more challenging in the upcoming school year.
When we come back, find out how one dance group is trying to prove it takes more than 2 to tango.
Stick with us, Tigers.
We're Tiger TV, LSU's student-run broadcast news station.
We're bringing you 4 newscasts a week, covering all things LSU.
Our news team is covering all the stories you need to know from LSU's campus and the Baton Rouge community.
And our sports team has you covered on the Tigers from the field to the court.
Tiger TV, sports, news, you.
Watch us on WBRZ 2+, Channel 11 at 11:10.
Welcome back to Wednesday Newsbeat. After 6 years, the Baton Rouge Zoo is making its roar heard. Our reporter Rosalind Bilyeu is in the studio to tell us more. Rosalind?
That's right, guys. The Baton Rouge Zoo has re-earned the Association of Zoos and Aquariums accreditation after losing it in 2018. The recent announcement that the zoo regained the recognition comes after a $50 million investment for the upgrades on the property. The decision for this was made during a vote in Tennessee on Monday, March 18th. Nearly 10% of zoos and aquariums in the United States have earned accreditation from the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, while the organization represents more than 235 facilities across the country.
Well, we lost our accreditation in 2018, and there wasn't anything wrong with animal care. It was that there wasn't enough investment in the zoo. We want to meet that top 10% or that gold standard or that housekeeping seal of approval, and make sure BREC is a gold medal winning park system. They need to have a gold medal winning zoo, and we've done that. So I'm real proud of how everybody's pulled together and made this a real important project.
The zoo is still under construction and plans to be fully up and functioning by the year 2025. Until then, the zoo invites you to visit its website at brzoo.org for all updates and upcoming events.
It's time to put on your dancing shoes because the Ballroom Club at LSU is trying to grow their ballroom community.
5, 6, 7, 8, wrong step, full step.
Although being on LSU's campus for years and even having their own competition team in the past, this club has been lacking members since COVID-19.
There's a very active ballroom community in Baton Rouge that absolutely wants younger people in it.
Through their free classes, the Ballroom Club at LSU teaches a wide variety of styles, introducing them to the world of ballroom dance.
We teach them the basics, and after that, like we do right now, we give them a chance to practice anything they learned, and we will also work with them on different dances if they're interested in getting back to reviewing different dances.
For some, it's a chance to continue their dancing education.
I've danced my whole life, and ballroom has always intrigued me, and I really wanted to branch out into different styles I hadn't done before.
But for others, it's a chance to let go and have fun.
It's tough to learn. There is a bit of a barrier there, but once you learn it, it's muscle memory, and it's so freeing to just not have to worry about what you're doing.
The classes are usually taught by professional dance instructors from the Baton Rouge area, encouraging them to embrace the art of ballroom dance.
Seeing the art for what it is, the dance for what it is, there's so many different dances in ballroom, and all of them are living and breathing and adapting as time goes on.
So whether you're a dance rookie or a veteran, there's always a spot for you on the dance floor. The Ballroom Dance Club hosts lessons on Tuesdays from 6 to 8 on the 3rd floor of the Student Union. If you want to know how to get involved, you can tango your way over to TigerLink for more information.
With Easter Sunday right around the corner, the Easter Bunny isn't the only thing that's been jumping. When we come back, see what key part of the holiday is leaving people shell-shocked.
We're Tiger TV, LSU's student-run broadcast news station.
We're bringing you 4 newscasts a week, covering all things LSU.
Our news team is covering all the stories you need to know from LSU's campus and the Baton Rouge community.
And our sports team has you covered on the Tigers from the field to the court.
Tiger TV, sports, news, you.
Watch us on WBRZ 2+, Channel 11 at 11:10.
Egg prices are jumping up, pushing up the cost of using dyed ones for Easter.
That's right, Gracie. Dyeing eggs, a tradition most who celebrate Easter, may not be seen in as many households this year. But hopefully the Easter Bunny still hops his way into homes to bring all of the Easter goodies. This comes after the average price for eggs right now is about $3 a dozen. That's way cheaper than the record high for $4.82 a dozen in January of last year in the wake of the avian flu outbreak, but it's still a lot higher than the average cost of $1.45 per dozen before the pandemic. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight's News Beat. Until next time, I'm Miguel Paredes Reyes.
And I'm Gracie Guillat. Have a great night, Tigers.